Now the champions have a 100% record under Brendan Rodgers. They lead by a point and have a game in hand. Rangers are also unbeaten but have drawn 2 of their first 4.
5 seasons in the waiting, a league match between Celtic and Rangers. High drama and high intensity are pretty much guaranteed. There are 60,000 fans inside Celtic Park, fueled by a passion, by an obsession. They're back, and every time it's personal. Lee Griffiths misses out with a calf injury, so Dembele gets the call up front for Celtic. There are old firm initiations for Dembele, Vries, Toure and Scott Sinclair. Sinclair and James Forrest have scored in all 3 league games so far to soften the blow of Griffiths' absence. Senderos makes his Rangers debut, and there's a first start for Joe Garner. There's also a first taste of this fixture for Joey Barton, Kranjcar and Josh Windass, who missed the last 6 games with a hamstring injury. Kenny Miller has scored 6 goals in his last 7 games against Celtic, his former club. Patrick Roberts is over his hamstring problem, he makes the Celtic bench. Martin Waghorn is over his hamstring problem, he makes the Rangers bench. 22 players on an almighty collision course. There is huge potential for pandemonium. The most fiery fixture in football is back on the calendar. Willie Collum is about to blow his whistle. Here we go. The players are told to stay calm and be professional. Good luck, because in this fixture, self-control can soon turn to self-destruct. Bitton, Forrest, Rogic. Free kick again for Rogic. Kranjcar thinks otherwise. It's going to be a yellow card for a series of offences from Kranjcar.
I'm not convinced about that. I think it was a foul. Barton and Kranjcar combined. Maybe they're beginning to think about the danger that Rogic has given their team.
Lustig, Bitton. Presence of Windass forces Brown back to Vries.
Although Celtic are dominating the ball, Ian, with the most possession, haven't had any shots at goal at all. We're almost on the opening half hour, and I think it's an indication of how well Rangers' shape has caused them problems.
Dembele. Joey Barton went for the ball. Kenny Miller now. Just away from Windass. McKay battling with Brown. Bitton took charge. Sinclair. Tierney. Brilliantly for Sinclair. It was kept in by Rogic, so it will be a Celtic throw now.
What a ball from Tierney. To get that to the byline. Terrific stuff.
What we've come to expect from Kieran Tierney, really. Lustig. Tavernier flicked it away, but Kieran Tierney's onto it. Tierney across, Tavernier away. Stayed in. Tierney tries again. Where's Foderingham is having that?
Well, I know he's a very willing defender, Kenny Miller, but he's not a natural defender. And it's a body there. Kranjcar, I think, is a bit of a weak link at the moment for Rangers. He's either lazy or unwilling to work off the ball.
Well, he turned into trouble there, Kranjcar. Bitton. nothing doing.
Well, look at Tierney here and the way that he cuts back onto his right foot, and then a perfect weighted ball into the feet of Sinclair.
It's been a remarkable rise for Kieran Tierney. Yes, just last year he was in the Celtic side that beat Rangers in the Youth Cup final. He's now dislodged Emilio Izaguirre as very much first choice left back for Celtic. Brown and Barton together. And the crowd enjoyed that. Dembele for Rogic. Held up briefly by Senderos. Tierney was going around the outside. Rogic looking for Sinclair. And Foderingham able to block as Celtic keep the pressure on.
Rogic again, the weight of this pass is absolutely wonderful. I think he was half a yard off the pace, didn't really expect it, Sinclair.
Sinclair's corner. Dembele makes the difference with a cracking header. Celtic strike first in the derby of derbies, and it had probably been coming.
Well, this is Rangers' Achilles heel. They cannot defend simple crosses. Go back to the Scottish Cup final and look at this. Look at the amount of bodies, Rangers bodies in the danger area. Kiernan is nowhere near. Garner's nowhere near. Barton's nowhere near. Dembele attacks it and he gets it in off the post. It is the most simple of goals for Celtic to score and horrible for Rangers to concede.
Who needs Lee Griffiths when you've got Moussa Dembele?
I think this is a problem for Rangers, Ian. Look for McKay, look for Miller, they're playing like fullbacks.
Some run this from Josh Windass. Stopped by Toure. Here's Kranjcar though. Kenny Miller can't feed Garner. There was a little hope for Rangers then.
Well, if he can get Windass on the ball, there's a player who can carry 30, 40 yards, very comfortable with the ball at his feet.
His old man scored against Celtic in his Aberdeen days. Bitton here for Dembele. First to it ahead of Senderos. It is Moussa Dembele! No Lee Griffiths, no worries, no problems, because Moussa Dembele has stepped forward and Celtic have a firm grip on this Glasgow derby.
Well, you need to look at how deep Senderos is here. No wonder Celtic very easily exploit the pace in behind. Look at Senderos. Look where Kiernan is playing the ball, and Senderos is what, 10, 15 yards deeper? Dembele could have tried to square it, but he's so high on confidence after the first goal that he shows fabulous composure. Just to cut in on Senderos here. Loses his footing, a desperate sort of lunge, can't stay on his feet. And that's a finish of the highest order. We've seen James Forrest with the outside of the right foot in recent weeks. Dembele more than a match for him. Wonderful goal, wonderful start to his old firm career here.
The double for Dembele, and he left his former Fulham teammate Philip Senderos planted on the ground there too. He's had to be patient with Lee Griffiths leading the line for Celtic. Well, he's certainly making the most of this opportunity. A star turn in the absence of Griffiths. Moussa's the man, and Celtic lead Rangers 2-0 with a couple of minutes remaining in this first half. Two goals in 9 minutes have wrecked Rangers here. They simply have to score the next game. Let's go with it again. Here's Windass. Kranjcar. Sinclair closing in. Kiernan had to steer that away from Sinclair.
I'd be tempted to get Kranjcar off, even now. Losing it too often.
Tavernier. Rangers couldn't half do with something here. Kenny Miller! And Garner helps it in! And Rangers have responded in the final minute of the half. Just what they needed. They've come alive!
Well, we spoke about Rangers being soft in central defence. Celtic are here too. Miller does ever so well. He's on the stretch. I don't think he's trying to score. He's just helping it back into the danger area, over the head of Vries, and Garner's in the right spot there, just to make sure. Excellent response from Rangers.
I wonder if Kenny Miller might think that was his. Joe Garner made sure. Kenny Miller on 99 Rangers goals. Rangers respond just over a minute after Dembele's second.
That's a huge goal. He won at half-time here, with the majority of the crowd celebrating. 2-1 makes it entirely different.
Well, if it was a bit of a slow burner, this Old Firm game, it isn't now. It is game on. But here's Rogic. Definitely Joe Garner's goal we hear. Kenny will have to wait for his 100th Rangers goal. Here's Rogic. He might get a shot away.
Well, Garner, what a lift for him. But this definitely shows that Miller on the stretch, getting it back in over Vries. Garner in that danger area, making sure he gets the final touch, making sure it gets over the line. Toure and Sviatchenko nowhere near it.
Joe Garner's first Rangers goal on his first Rangers start. He's just ended an 11-game goal drought. It's a good day to end that. An explosive end to the first half here. Moussa Dembele with 2 goals put Celtic in control. Rangers had hardly had a serious look in. But just before the break, up popped Miller and up popped Garner, and that has changed the complexion somewhat on Derby Day in Glasgow, because at half-time it is Celtic 2, Rangers 1. Well, Celtic cruised through most of that first half, and we're cruising at 2-0 up. A double for Dembele. But Joe Garner, just before the break, has changed the scenario here. And all of a sudden, Rangers are believing a little. Garner. Senderos helped on by Tavernier for Barton. Andy Halliday looking for McKay. Lustig's going to have to do something here, and that's what he does do.
So Vries might have dominated his box a bit more there.
Barton, Halliday, Wallace. Barton. Windass now for Tavernier. Flicked away by Sviatchenko, but it's McKay. And it flashes wide. And just for a moment, Rangers thought they were about to equalise.
Well, no surprise to see Tavernier on the overlap, getting a decent ball in. Not the easiest of clearance for Sviatchenko. It's measured, it's controlled from McKay. He's so unlucky it doesn't drift inside the post. It was certainly the right idea.
Senderos for Tavernier. Can Rangers go from 2-0 to 2-2? That would be some story. They did look down and out at 2-0, but not for long, it must be said. Armstrong involved straight away, and it's really opened up for him. Forrest. Foderingham makes the save, and it sticks.
Yeah, it had to stick because Armstrong and Sinclair were in any sort of rebound.
Windass playing well for Rangers. Another good run, albeit stopped this time by Sviatchenko. Rangers may well be about to introduce Martin Waghorn, who's just come back from a hamstring injury. We've hit the hour mark at Celtic Park. Brown. Armstrong. Lustig. Kiernan. I'm sure he was getting to that. Armstrong for Dembele. Sinclair not far away. Dembele finds Sinclair, who continues his scoring spree. Rodgers and Celtic are back in the comfort zone on the hour. Come up the hour, come up the man, Scott Sinclair.
Well, you've got to credit Dembele. The easy ball here is to play it left. He's got two options, but Sinclair makes the diagonal run and he's onside, and he finishes it so calmly. There's not a lot of room to aim there, but Dembele took the chance, playing the more difficult pass, and he gets his reward. It's a wonderful setup. And what a fabulous finish for Sinclair, who has started his Celtic career on fire.
Well, Scott Sinclair worked with Brendan Rodgers at Swansea and in Chelsea's youth system. He's scored in every league match for him now since arriving from Aston Villa. Talk about getting your career back on track. He's made an astonishing impact in hoops, and Rangers have it all to do again. Martin Waghorn will be coming on for Rangers shortly, and Patrick Roberts will be coming on for Celtic shortly.
Senderos took Sinclair out here. There was a little clash earlier on, and Senderos lost it.
Yellow card for the Swiss defender.
As soon as that ball's in the air, Senderos just wanted to take his opponent out. Look at Senderos here. He's not attacking the ball, he's attacking the man. Stupid play from Senderos. Far more experienced to know that that's not the thing to do.
Armstrong showing interest here. Showing a lot of interest. Foderingham saves. Sinclair. And the flag was up for offside against Scott Sinclair.
Really good attempt from Armstrong, driving forward. The gap opened up for him. No one getting near him, and when he cuts inside to get that shot away, really good decision from the assistant referee on the far side. Sinclair was offside. There's Armstrong getting a bit of power away. Foderingham with the outstretched hand, makes a good save.
And it's still a fair old part. Senderos with a handball as he challenged, and he's already on a yellow card. So Philip Senderos is sent off, and Rangers derby day goes from bad to worse.
There are times players just leave you bemused. He's already been yellow carded, and a deliberate handball. Does he not realise the pace the ball's going at? I don't know if there was a Celtic player going to get onto it. He had Tavernier on the cover. I know that it's sometimes instinctive, Ian, but that's schoolboy stuff, that.
Well, they've lost both their centre-halves now. Kiernan to injury and Senderos to a red card. Near Bitton, fancying a dig here, and he can hit them. He's proved that. Got some movement as well. Bitton, over and out that time. Rangers in disarray now. Roberts couldn't get past Barry McKay.
Well, McKay's excellent going forward. He's playing like a left back at the moment.
McKay is staying down. Just can ill afford another injury.
Really good tackle from McKay, just trying to go on the front foot, trying to get forward.
Colin is coming over to speak to Kevin Clancy here, the fourth official.
Well, Davy Weir was really upset at the lack of a card there. And Willie Collum, I think, is taking action here against Davy Weir.
David Weir, veteran of these occasions. Well, that's how it gets to you. Rangers need a goal ASAP to give themselves a glimpse of hope. Halliday. Roberts, McGregor, Lustig. Rangers exposed and struggling to get back here. Dembele! He's done it! Moussa Dembele takes his place in Old Firm hat-trick history. There's only been one team in town today. Celtic.
Well, Rangers have been run ragged. Getting caught forward. It's a two-man defence. It's against three. Tavernier way forward. Halliday can't get back. Credit the goal scorer. Lustig picks him out. The really good cross. The first touch with his right foot is absolutely beautiful. Just puts it onto his left. And that is a confident, clinical finish. It's a hat-trick for Dembele.
And it's the first hat-trick in an Old Firm League game since Stevie Chalmers in 1966, 50 years ago. He got a yellow card for his celebration. He doesn't look too bothered about that. Beaten by Rangers in the Scottish Cup semi-final shootout last season. Revenge was in the air from the off, and it has been ruthlessly and clinically taken. Sinclair. Here's Tierney. Is there another one? There might be for Armstrong. There is. Now that is really rubbing it in. Celtic 5, Rangers 1. The champions have blown away their fierce rivals.
Well, it's a fifth goal that emphasises their total and utter dominance of this game. Well played from Tierney. Again, that cut back who picks out Armstrong. Does really well, Armstrong. The easiest thing to do here is take it first time. He takes a lovely first touch and then finds the angle to get it away from Wallace and away from Foderingham. 5-1, I think, is a fair measure of the difference in the sides today.
One goal in one Old Firm match for Stuart Armstrong. That will do nicely. The perfect end to a perfect day for Celtic Football Club. It doesn't get much better than this. Now is the time to relax properly. Although Brendan Rodgers might have been fairly relaxed for most of the afternoon. There was only going to be one winner. Waghorn looking for something in the land of consolation. Vries, who's had so little to do, does make the save, but that is that. An emphatic and convincing victory for Brendan Rodgers and Celtic. Mark Warburton's Rangers well beaten here. Well beaten. Celtic lived up to their tag of favourites. Moussa Dembele scored a hat-trick, a perfect hat-trick. And to think he might not have played had Lee Griffiths been fit. The first hat-trick in a league Old Firm game for 50 years. The first league meeting between the Glasgow Giants in 5 seasons ends Celtic 5, Rangers 1.
Well, if any Celtic supporters said they didn't miss the Old Firm game, I suspect they'll have changed their mind this afternoon. Solid performance by Willie Collum, the referee there, always worth mentioning that in this particular fixture. And Brendan Rodgers takes the applause of the 60,000 sellout crowd here in Glasgow. Last week, they beat Aberdeen 4-1, and today, the other big side expected to challenge. They've been beaten 5-1. What an afternoon for the new Celtic manager and his players. 6 home wins out of 6 in all competitions this season. The last time Celtic celebrated an Old Firm win was April 2012 in the league, when they won 3-0 here. And there's what it means to the league table. Celtic well in front, and remember they have a game in hand. The other 5 Premiership ties in the Ladbrokes Premiership kick off at 3 o'clock this afternoon, so Rangers could tumble down the league by close of play today.